Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, and perhaps even good evening. Thank you so much for dropping by and joining me for another exciting episode of something that gives me an echo in my ear. I don't want to see, hear, have that. Let me just go and sort that out. Where does that come from? Where does that come from? Is this? No, that's not it. That's not it. I'm getting some echo. But I don't know where that's coming from. Are you getting an echo? Like really quiet in the background? I don't know. Either way, Mr. Cienfuegos is here. Ricky is here. Mr. Brian is here. Mr. Leo is here. It's wonderful to see you. You getting that as well? Yeah, I got to take care of that then. Where might that be coming from? It's not from here. It's not from here. So 3 monitors, 2 computers. That's got to be... Could it be here? That isn't it. That isn't it. No, that's another echo. That's not it. This doesn't do that. Bear with me, friends. Could this be that? What does this do? That is also not that. This is also not that. What if I go and do that? Is it gone then? It's also... Oh, hang on a minute. Could it be? Could it be? Could it be? Yes. Is it here? No. It's not here either. Dang, brother. It's not here either. So we're basically going to just figure out for the next 2 hours where does the echo come from. Where does the echo come from? This is bad. I don't have anything else open. There's literally no more browser windows where this could be coming from. There's literally no more browser windows where this could be coming from. Because this is on mute. This is really bad, guys. This is really You'll echo what Ricky and Calvin just echoed. That is bad. Hello. Well, short stream then. This is bad. So what happens? This is just going to mute me completely. And this is when that goes away. Okay, cool. So we've sorted that out. But that isn't good for me because I know which computer is coming from then. So that's good. The problem with that is that we don't, now it's gone, that's true. But now that also means I won't be able to play any background music, which is bad. So what are we going to do then? Because I want to hear that background music. It's not in here. This is how I switch it on and off. That's where that comes from. But it's not coming from here. The only other place where that could be coming from is here. Is it gone now? It's gone now. I found the window. Oh wow, it was the Patreon window. I got it. You like it better without the music? Yes, it's overruled. I'm gonna give you some music. Something like this. Just very, very Mr. Rogers in the background. I hope it's not going to be too intrusive. If it is, this track might be. But if it is, then we can always tone it down. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate it. So quick word here before we get started. The old title sequence that we've just seen, that is literally, can you believe it or not? That is literally was made in 2019. And that is, it's been almost 8 years. I can't believe it. So I decided, and I've been saying this for many years really, that we need a new title sequence. And for that, it took a while for me to find a couple of good sets. And one that I've picked up through a Humble Bundle, I believe, well, 2 actually that I've picked up through a Humble Bundle were these guys here from the Barrel and Bark. So this one is going to be the interior. It's something called the Movie Theater Scene with Foyer. That's right, exactly, Leo. That was when the world was semi-normal. So this is gonna work more or less. We may be able to use it as is, or we may have to go and do some small tweaks here. This is all going to be dark, so I'm not going to be too worried about it. I think the red material is going to be a little bit too red for what we see in the scene. But the concession stand, this is all massive, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like with people in. This, I think, is made for us to walk around in it, so we're not going to do that, but I'm having plans of making one of these popcorn machines put up so much popcorn that it's going to be, it's going to be exciting. So the other set that I'm going to use for the exterior of the project is this one here. It's also by Barrel and Bark, and this is the Amsterdam city street with canal. And that's been on my radar literally ever since it popped up on the Fab Marketplace. And we've got some upgrades here, which is nice. Nighttime lighting and a shop interior. And I thought it looked stunning from the demos that I've seen. This is the interior. We're not going to use that, but the exterior we probably will be. And yeah, this is what it looked like when I saw it, and I thought that could look really cool. So my idea then was to, rather than having one camera drone through the whole set, we're going to have several shots this time, 11 shots to be precise. And I'll talk you through them in a moment. And we're going to probably come up one of those roads here and then just rough out the shots today and see if we can add the cinema facade from the previous title sequence to one of these houses here. In fact, I've already done that. It just needs to be retextured for it to look to work properly. I tell you, it works. It looks really nice. This is the little storyboard I've made here in Clip Studio Paint. And so the first shot is going to be coming into one of these back alleys here. And this is then the second shot where we're going to overlook the canal. I'm thinking that's going to work really well. And then here we're going to go and pan or crane left to right. This here in the background is, you can just about see the cinema facade. This is it here, but it's gray now, but it's very recognizable from the title sequence we know. So I'm going to keep the music the same, just change the timing, just change the shots to it really. And this is going to be the outside here. I think it was going to work if I give this sort of a brick texture like the other buildings have. And then put some movie posters here and just give this nice shade. So this is like a ticket booth. We're going to see that in a moment. So, you know. Oh, is it? I've never played COD. What's it called? Of Duty? Call of Duty. I've never played that. And this is then the second set, so I'm going to have to render this in 2 passes. Second set, this is going to be the interior. I think we're going to change the movie posters here, and we're going to fill this with people. So there's going to be lots of CC5 characters walking around in here. This is going to be the same shot from here to there. I'm just going to go and pan over from left to right over lots of people who are buying their tickets or buying their snacks. And this here, even though it's a multiplex theater, our show is going to be in the first theater here, and that is going to be similar to what we have right now. I might even have the same guy walking into it and then maybe follow him along, or just intercut between this, and then we see the lots of more people here. I think right now in the Blender scene, I'm going to have a look at that in a second, the original one. In the Blender scene we have about 10, 12 people, and I want this to be like 30, 40, 50 people who are already sitting down there, and another 20, 30 coming in. So that's the idea. Sorry about the bot notifications. I didn't know it was going to be quite that many. I told the bot to put something out every 15 minutes rather than every 5 minutes. I guess he doesn't like that. And last shot is going to be just like this. So that's my plan, and I'll see if it works, shall we? Let's see. I'm going to go and load the project that I've made yesterday. So this was literally an idea I had yesterday evening. First time I'm using Unreal Engine 5.7 as well. My God, is that sluggish compared to 5.6? TCG Mark, how you doing, buddy? Yes, it's been a while since we've done a 3D Shenanigans, so I'm hoping I can bring that back. I really want to chip away at this, and the last time we did this was a lot of fun in 2019. I just can't believe it's been quite that long. So no, I'm going to animate and render all of this from Unreal Engine, Ricky. So this is not going to be in Blender. The previous one, that was in Blender, and it served me well, but the rendering time in cycles takes forever. So this is not going to take so long. It's also, I've learned so much over the last couple of years working on Heart of Mercy, that it's there's going to be a lot of more efficient ways to do that. I suppose back in the day, I would have probably animated everything on one timeline, and I'm not going to do that again. That is way too cumbersome. I'm going to use Unreal Engine's shot feature, and that makes it really easy to swap shots around, extend them, make them faster, make them shorter, spawn things in where they need to be, and not have them clog up memory when we don't need them. So you can do all these things, and especially the Amsterdam set is very efficiently laid out. So I'm going to use the default level, and it's good. They used level instances, So it's going to be nice. I have given Eevee a shot. I'm just not using it. Reasons. For what I'm doing, Unreal Engine is what I want to use. I could do this in 7 other applications. I'm just not going to do that. So I'm going to stick with what I know. Yeah, I mean, Eevee, it's also gone better. I mean, I remember when Eevee came out, it was a bit of a hot mess. And but it's gotten much better. You'd have to do much less tweaks. I remember when it came out, you had to do a lot of tweaks for it to look nice. But no, it's good. Even my old title sequence looks fairly good in Eevee, gotta say. Dillich, how you doing? Good to see you too, buddy. Yeah, loading times, eh? There's always more loading times. I should also make a start level that isn't this. That's just like super plain. Oh yeah, so here it is. Here it is. That's the theater thing. I think I'm gonna go and split this up. This is currently just one front piece. I'm gonna go and split this up into multiple pieces and then go take it into Substance Painter and bake each individual piece, give each piece a texture. But that's probably gonna be the next thing on our radar. So this one, I've got some camera bookmarks here. So this, I think that's probably where we're gonna start. And then we're gonna go and pan across this, something along the lines of, you know, something like this. I mean, a little bit slower there. Once I've got the right speed, something like this. Yeah, so we go from here, maybe slightly lower. We go and pan across here. Maybe we will see one cyclist going over the bridge, just revealing the set. And then we go do something like this, just move in, something like that. Then we go see this from here. So everything just keeps moving as we do that. That's what we're going to set up today. And then we have this, and then we have that. So we're going to probably go either from here and then just go and try to zoom into here. Just a bit like we had in the original, which also means I may have to go and do something with these buildings at the back here. It currently doesn't have a foyer. There's just buildings behind it. So I may have to go and do something about that. But those are finessed bits and pieces we're going to worry about much later once we've got the animation set up here. Here, meshes, that needs to go into set. There we go. And then we're gonna, I think I have to go and do some tidy up. So they all still have their cameras in here. And obviously I don't want to use their cameras. I'm going to use mine. So yeah, that's the plan. In fact, bit of tidy up. Maybe we're going to start with that. So everything that's in cameras, select all descendants. Oh, the Silent Hill movie. I haven't actually seen that, to be honest. I haven't seen the Silent Hill movie or played any of the more recent games. I think F is out. I don't think I'm going to play that. There's also the... What was the other thing? There was Silent Hill... What was it? There was another one. One's in development and one's just come out that has nothing to do with Silent Hill, but it's called Silent Hill. So it's weird. Paper sheets there. They're the decals. So, the decals, Cienfuegos. So I'm going to go and start with a bit of organizational work. Make myself a new folder. I'll call that one Cinematics. I might even give that a color. Maybe something nice and pink. Something like that. Very nice. And then in here, I'm going to make another folder for the exteriors. Can I spell? Exteriors. And then another one that's for the interiors. And then in the exteriors, that's where my shots are going to live. Up here, I'm going to have one that is going to be a level sequence. Brand new, goes into here. It's going to be the exterior master, or rather, actually, let's call it master ext. And then we have master int as well. Here it is. I think I'm going to do this. I'll keep it on 30 frames a second for now. But that's super easy to change. I think while I work, I'd like to see this in seconds. because we need about 13-14 seconds of the exterior, and then we have another 12 on the interior, but that's a different scene. Okay, in here I'm gonna have a shot track, and in the shot track all the other bits and pieces are gonna happen. So going back to this, I'll go and make a new shot asset. I'll call that one shot 1001. Is so nondescript. Maybe I'll just go call it X011. So that'll be the first take of that. And in here, I'm going to go and create a camera. So there's two ways of doing that. I can either do this. That will work, but it means the camera is more zoomed in than I would like. So another option of doing that is to go back to my bookmark. I might actually do that. I might just, that might be easier here. So I'll call that one Cam 1, and then I'll make this 18 millimeters of a focal length. And that's sort of what we want here. That's going to be Cam 1. And let's leave them all at 5 seconds for now. I can animate them later, or in fact right now. I might go and do that. Transform track on keyframe here. 5 seconds later-ish. We're moving up this. Yeah, that one's so well done, was it? Let's try that again. Give us a bit of a wider shot from here to here. Great, and that'll give us some rough camera placements. So then the next shot, let's say this is about, let's say it's 4 seconds. Next shot's going to start somewhere here, and that is going to be X02 1. 1 is the take. That one's going to be here. So we're having them stacked. We go in here, go to our bookmark number 2, and then we'll say, maybe we'll do something like this here. Camera 18 mil for now. Camera 2. Nancy's is here. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, I might just do something like this, and then have this pan from here. I'm not worrying about the timing right now. It's just about where do we want the cameras to be roughly. Transform starts here, and then sort of, this might be a little bit of a longer shot, so we'll take it all the way here, revealing crowds and crowds of people, something like this. How's the West Coast today, Nancy? Okay, and then this might get a little, might have to be a little longer for now before we trim these things down into the correct timing. I'll do another shot which goes up here again. X03 1. And that is going to be on my bookmark 3. Something like that. Oh yeah, it's also 18. I don't know what I'm gonna exactly do here, if it's just gonna be a crane or reveal, something like this. I'd like to just capture the, like this here. So it could either be a pan, or it could be like a crane type thing like this. Hard to say. Good to hear, good to hear. I'll start this here and then maybe just go and do this. Will that work? What does that look like? Yeah, I don't know. There's something about this shot I don't find super appealing just yet. But that's a sort of good thing to know, that you can change your mind 50,000 times. I'm not entirely sure about this tree here either. I do like that cafe because we get to reveal a ton of people that way. Always take something like this. That might be nice. Because then we have the theater in the distance still. Maybe we'll do that. And we'll see people having coffee here. That might be neat. Coffee, walking, going about their business, that sort of thing. That might be neat. That's camera 3. Or 3A, I should call it. It's probably a little shorter than this. And then our next shot. Exterior 4. 1 at the end is the take number. So Unreal Engine has a nice feature that if you can't make up your mind, you can go and give each of these shots a take. So you can go into here and then say which take do we want to use. So you can, without having to do much more overhead, you can just go and designate several versions of the same shot, and then in your master sequence, which is what we're assembling now, you can go and swap around. That way you can see, maybe you swap out the second shot for something else, you try that out and it doesn't work, then you go back to the first take, and so forth. So that's what the number at the end is there, the number 1. This here, I think that is that. So this is, I'm not sure if I like this shot anymore because we've now had the equivalent from the other side. So I'll see if I wanted to keep it in. And then we can maybe shorten this down a little bit, like so. And then we have one more. And I feel like you, Brian, I feel like we haven't done this in ages, in absolute ages. It's so nice to get back in the 3D saddle. I don't know if this is going to be beneficial for me or totally wipe me out. I can't quite tell yet because I do this. Oh yeah, there we go. I do this all day usually, so I don't know if this is going to be nice to have a personal project on top of that, or it's going to totally wipe me out. So you'll be the first to find out. This is 5. Did I say 18? Yeah, I said 18. Good stuff. We'll just approach that from here to about here. So we may not need all these shots. I'll put them in as they are in my storyboard just in case. Make another shot here. And this is going to be X06, take 1. Okay. In here, we'll use my camera bookmark number 6. Okay, make that a camera. And this is where we're going to come much closer into the cinema. Now there's cars there, so that's a little surprising. I don't know if I want that that shot anymore. I mean, I can't take the cars away, but I don't know if that shot is necessary anymore. I think maybe I'll use the previous one. Right, this is exactly what I fear as well, Ricky. This is what I fear. But also, sometimes it's nice to do something that's I mean, while I do this in principle for the project we're working on, it's I do lots of other things that I might not want to do in my private life. So in that case, I'm thinking that might be kind of cool. That could be an idea, Julia. Let's do that. Maybe I'll go and I'll just make it go away. Then I'll just, only because I wanted to keep this shot because it's such a, we remember going sort of into this here. If I don't do it, then I'll also don't have to worry about the foyer, but I might just go and do this tracking shot and remove the white car. He just got a parking ticket, so thanks, Julia. I'll go move sort of into here. And I might even remove the other car as well. Yeah, so just get a glimpse, and then I can always dissolve, because there was always, you know, there was the skeleton here. Lighting isn't there, but yeah, skeleton's going to be in here. In fact, let's do that in the sequencer. So if we go and take this car here and just track it, give it a visibility track, car's gone. So that's sort of cool. Maybe. I'm even thinking now perhaps we need to go and move the other cars as well. But let's just see what we have so far once we amalgamate all this. And remember, this is still pretty rough. But that's where we can do timing changes and also even shot changes if we want. And see if it works in principle. So we start here. That's now 18 seconds, so it's a bit, this one's a bit too fast. So I like the pan across. Maybe we'll come out a little early. This is also too fast. This is also too fast, so we can, I think that one I sort of like. The last one is the only one I like, really. So and the first one, I do like this one too. Like this is a sort of a good time for that. This here, I'm thinking we're going to come out a little earlier. So maybe we'll just go, and we're not going to go all the way up to here. We'll just go make it a 3-second shot and just make that. That looks a little empty and blank here, so maybe I'll just go do something like this. Yeah, that might be nice. Do that, push the camera forward a little bit. That's another little trick we can do. Just move these things outside. And then if we needed to have that being a bit longer, we can do that. Yeah, so this is a bit nicer, I think. And then we get some more time here. This one. Shorten that up as well from here to there. And it's just a bit of eye candy for the environment there. Oh yeah, this one was also too fast, so we're not going to go all that far. Oops. That's probably enough to just have a little bit of base movement in there. Hello, no one's moving. There we go. That's still fairly fast. Maybe we're going to go and just even that out a bit. Yeah, that's a bit more subtle, isn't it? And then we've saved ourselves some more time. And then we have this. That is also a bit fast. And then we have this here. That's also a bit fast. So make these two guys a little slower here. And just spread that out. I might just take a little bit in the middle here. Nice. And then we have that. And then we're almost on time then. This one's also too fast, so OJ. Okay, you might have to make an OJ character, Leo, and then we can totally put him in there. I don't even know what sort of characters I want to use. I think I'm just gonna there's so many of the crowd characters that we can use from Reallusion. They're just super easy to put in. I'm thinking maybe we can make this a little more interesting if we start here. And then we'd go sort of like this. That might be cool. Yes, that a bit slower, and then that's a good rough, I'm thinking. Oops, there we go, if it begins. I'm also thinking this car, do we see it? We see it in this shot as well. I'm wondering if that's something anyone's going to notice, that this car is actually here in this shot, and then as we go here, it's no longer there. I don't know if it matters. It might not. And because then it's not going to come back, because then we're going to be on the inside. I'm just thinking that perhaps just for... It's technically in this shot as well, so if we wanted to be pedantic here, gotta say I like the white car better than some of the other SUVs here. So maybe we're gonna move the white car to here and get rid of him, and then we don't have to do this on the sequencer, then it's just a white parking spot. Let's do that. Let's do that. I like it. Get rid of you, and then... Because obviously we're the director, you see. Let me go and copy this car here. Copy. And then this guy here, I'm going to go and paste you in. And you can go there. What sort of development work do you do, Ricky? Just out of curiosity. Banking, all right, okay. Okay, I think the timing of the shots is cool, but the second one is a little fast. And not so much fast, I would like for that to be longer and for this one to be slightly shorter, I'm thinking. Or do I like it? What do you think? Do we like it? I can't quite tell yet. Do you know what, I think in principle I'm actually okay with it. I think the only thing I would maybe do, so I left a deliberate amount of additional space at the beginning and the end, so I might just go and take all of these and move those in, and I might just go and cut out of the first shot a little earlier, so then we have a little bit more of this and start this one a little later. And then the same with this here. I think this stops. This is actually cool, but I think it stops a little earlier than I wanted. Like now the movement continues in that instance. And then that was a little fast here, shot 4. But it's also something I'm totally happy with, actually. And then we have this. I'm thinking this is a good rough. 16 seconds, so I can finagle that with 3 seconds at the beginning, at the end. I've got a handle here at the end. So that is not bad. Well, sometimes that's good that you say, hey, look, I do this for a living, but then I do that as a hobby. I think it's not bad to have a clear distinction between that. I mean, it does help if they're related, but at the same time, because if ever you get to hate your job or something happens in your job that you know makes your relationship with the job a little difficult, I think it's sort of cool to have something that's completely separate from that. I enjoy gaming, but I think I wouldn't enjoy being a game developer. I think that might not work for me. Hey, this is good. This is not bad at all. Sky will worry about that another time. And here's the theater we're going in. Okay, so this is a good start. Let's have a look at the interior. This is that master. All the exterior shots are in here with their take number, so that's sort of neat. Interior. I'm glad. Look at that, half an hour. That wasn't bad at all. That was good. So for this timing, I think we're a little shorter on the inside. Oh, and we need to tidy this up. There's a lot of just stuff in here. Vast amounts of stuff. Okay, let's go and do I'm gonna go and organize this into do we have levels here? No. Okay, I might sort this into levels then first. Yeah, let's do that. So everything that's a spotlight, those are all the scary spotlights. Let's add that to a new level. That gives us a little bit of clarity here. I could probably just call it subs, I guess. I'll call it interior lighting. I'll make it always loaded. And I'm going to go and put everything onto that level. And do it for all of these things. I did make copies of these things, by the way, so just in case I screw this up bad, it's all good. I'll put this into a folder here as well. Call that one spotlights. And we have a ton of others. Do we have rectangle lights? Yes, all the rectangle lights. We can go and move, okay, this from here to there. Move to new folder. We're calling this one rect lights. And also we're going to put all of that into that level. Yes, good stuff. That's that. And then do we have any point lights? We only have one. That's not bad at all. Put that there as well. Okay, now all we should have left is environment lights, I'm thinking. A ton of groups. There is lighting here. Oh yeah, there we go. So this is the environment. Not that we strictly need it. And basically everything except for those light folders we've just made goes into yet another folder eventually. Yes, move to new folder, and this is going to be my set. Eventually. There we go. That is the set. Hello? Pretzel machine, yes. We're good here. Takes a minute. Yes, set, perfect. So that's the set, that's the environment, and now we have all these lights. And we have all these groups here, and the groups, they should also go that, and this, that all goes into lighting. As well as the groups, because I think that was part of that as well. Perfect. Okay, sanity has been restored in the outliner. That is good. So I think we already have a ton of cameras in here. While I appreciate it, I'm going to go and delete them all. So that's good. I can go and start with my own cameras then next. So once again, I have my bookmarks set up here. And we'll see if we can rough this out. So the first thing we need here is a new level sequence. And that's going to be my master for the interior. 30 frames is fine. If I wanted to render this out in sort of 60 frames, I can do it on rendering. So I want the whole thing to be around 23 seconds. So I'm going to make it 25 for now. And I will start this shot at around 13 seconds because that's where there's a bit of a change in the music. So that's where I'm going to put that. So we're going to grab a shot track once again, and in the shot track we're going to go and start with a new shot. This one's going to be the interior, and if I'm gonna believe my storyboard here, that is shot 7 that we're going to start with. Control and then a number on the like 1 to 0, and you go, yeah, control and the number. You also have something to manage them under file, manage bookmarks. You can get rid of gaps. You can't name them, but you can have 10 bookmarks in the as you go through it. It's just like hotkeys, yes, exactly. What did I call these shots again? I already forgotten. The ext 1 perfect. So it's going to be int 1. So it's int or 1. No, sorry, int 7 1. That is here, and in here we'll go and say, yeah, so this is my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this is 6, and 7 is that. So I've got 7 shots here, but 8, 9, and 0 are empty. And if I wanted to go and do this, control 0 will do that. Save bookmark 0, and now I can go and just press 0, and then that works. And then to turn this into a camera, you can either go and there is a way to say create a camera here somewhere. Was it here? Forgot where that was now. Was it here? They changed it with the new layout. It could be here. Could be here. I don't remember. There was a shortcut that says create a camera here, and that makes you a persistent camera. If you use it directly from the sequencer like this, then you get a spawnable camera. Here this little icon shows you that. Camera 7, 18 millimeters. And lighting we'll deal with later. I think this, whoops, hello. What happened? Right, there we go. So something like this. Something like that will be good. Or we make it, depends on, we might just make it, instead of 18, let's make it 12. So that's that really wide shot. That might be better. 12. Start here and then just make them each 3 seconds for now, I'm thinking. And then we'll just go and move forward into here. Hopefully we'll see lots of people walking by. That's the plan. That's 7. Now we'll go for 8. Interiors 08. That goes on the second track here. That's going to be this pan across, I think, from here to there. So I'll see how I do it. I'll lock this first camera in here. Yeah, so from sort of here, and I may need a little bit longer because it's technically 2 shots, so I'm wondering if this is going to be, or if I should make it 2 shots. I can't always keep them separate. It would just be a good reveal shot, I'm thinking. But maybe that's a little boring to do that. Maybe I'll separate them, actually. Maybe I'll make him into 8 and 9 instead, and then we'll see this. We can see this from here in 3 seconds, and then we'll have another. Yeah, let's do that. We'll do 2 shots. So this. And then we'll use 9 over here. Nine over here. And 9. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to go and put the camera in first. So this camera, oops, sorry buddy. Camera 9, this is 18 as well. And maybe I'll do something like this, or focus on the people in front, we'll then go into the ticket box. Because there's just so many people. Always go from concession to over here, that's possible. If you do it wide enough. Gives us a lot of room for people. Tons of people. Let's make that a 4-second shot to here. I like this because then we have an eye on what's happening here. And if we find that too fast, then I can always tweak the beginning of that. I just started more here. That might be better, then we don't have... Then we can just focus on somebody in the front who we don't know yet. And then we just reveal the crowd and stay on there for a little bit. Okay, that's 4 seconds. And then we'll do a couple of faster shots. Do you want, excuse me 1 second, I will just go and buy another coffee. I'll see you in a sec. Okay, I have coffee. That is important. Am I back? Sort of back. Yes, there we go. I'm back. That's good. Wait. Fresh from the concession stand. I do like that. The barista got my name right. Yes, thank you, Leo. What would we do without coffee, huh? So all these things could be shortened up, of course. And now we'll go into this, and that's going to be shot 10. Shot 10 is also going to be maybe just... Let's do it in 3 seconds. And that is, I wonder then, do we need this shot? Yeah, let's use this shot and then just have that for a short time here, I think, where we just find somebody who we're following. Maybe even just go and, I just go straight here perhaps. Oops. VSync editor 1. so we don't have any screen tearing here. Yeah, we'll just do something like this. Even though that's too fast, isn't it? Maybe we'll start here. That's the cool thing with these shots. You can say technically this is the shot you'd want, but it's now too fast. So if we make it slower, or if we space the keyframes out, eventually it'll have the right speed, but we might not be able to show the whole thing. So then we can say when we're in here, if we like sort of this part of the shot, just go and drag it, or even better, Control / splits it. So then you can do this, and let's say this is the part you want. Control / trims it, and then you can just take this away and put it where it needs to be. So then that's how we can basically do sort of clip editing in Unreal Engine. That's sort of cool. Yes, lots of people. Yes, absolutely. So once I've got the camera shots roughed out, then I'll go in and I'll put stand-ins first so that we know where people need to be roughly, and then we'll go and design them and transfer them out with either through iClone or with Character Creator. Yes, it's going to be a big crowd heavy scene, like, you know, people in the background here going into other auditoriums, that sort of thing. That's the plan. And same for the city. So outside there's lots of people sitting, there's maybe some cars driving, that sort of thing. So that's where the bulk of the time really gets spent. So let's make this, it's going to be 11. So yeah, this won't get finished today. I don't think. That would be nice though. Yeah, so this is something we had in the original, and I think I want to retain that here. Put some movie posters on the wall and follow somebody. Yeah, and not for long. We're not going to stay in this for long. We're just going to follow basically like the guy who used to go down the corridor. Yeah, let's say 3 seconds, and then we'll just stay on this maybe for 2 or so. Darja Zlindra, how you doing? Haven't seen you in ages. Good to see you're still around. How are you? See how this goes. Oh yeah, and then we have 2 more shots after this. So now it's shot 12. So good to see you. We meet again after such a long time. Can you believe that the previous title sequence was made in 2019? That is just such a crazy long time ago. So yeah, definitely up for an update. Shot 12 comes down here, and then we'll make that about 3 seconds as well. And this is going to be inside the auditorium here. Put a camera here, cam 12, and we'll make that a bit wider. Might even make that, depends how far we can, yeah, we need to make that even wider. So 12, yes, perfect. Then we can see this, and then we can give it a little push in here. We can see the guy keeps coming out here, and then he joins everyone. And maybe that's a nice shot. Like, do something like this. Yes, I like it. Put this out to here, put this out to somewhere here. You have been, and I'm so liking that. I'm so appreciative for you to do that. You've been with me for such a long time. I really like it, Darja, and it's so nice to see so many familiar faces as well. I was thinking of Brian and Julia. Brian's been here forever as well, and it's just nice. It's just wonderful to to keep in touch. What are you doing these days? I remember last time you were making like a design clothing in 3D fashion that then gets design clothing in 3D that then gets turned into real life garments. Are you still doing that? I still do 3D animations, and I love it as well. There's never a dull moment. There's always something you learn. There's always a new tool that comes out. And there's so many different ways of doing things as well. Okay, our final shot is going to be from the gantry here. That's shot number 13. Unlucky number 13. Oh, and this one can actually be a bit longer. I will just leave this at 5 seconds. Here it is. Camera 13, and that's either going to be 12. Was 18 going to be? Maybe 18 is going to be enough here. No, because there's things in the way. There's nothing in the projectionist room, by the way. This is it. There's just nothing in here. There's nothing in here. So I do want to see the crowd here. So I think I might make that. I might start like this, and then we have people everywhere. And then we'll go straight into the beginning show here. Which is then 3D Shenanigans, of course. So, oh, you got hype by Lululemon. Look at that! Haha! Very cool, Darja. That is amazing. Congrats. Do you know, the other day, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, Dorel was here, Dorel McPherson, and she no longer works for Browseware. She's back into making fashion as well, so she's a pattern maker, and she's still doing Patreon as well. So I'll tell her, you know, you stop by. It's really nice to see familiar faces. Yes, we might go and design some custom clothing later in this series. But I'm not entirely sure yet. It could be. It's quite possible. If only a Unreal Engine would be a little bit more stable with real-time cloth. I did design something the other day. I think it's 6 months ago now, where we had an angel for our project, and she needed to fly. So I used the Camilla character from Reallusion and gave her a costume. And I animated that with live cloth dynamics in Unreal Engine, and that was pretty cool too. You're still crazy, Darja, and you're using Browseware and Chloe and Gerber as well. Wow, crazy Darja! Don't say that. We're all crazy. What is it with us and doing 3D all this time? Crazy stuff. Okay, the first shot, I think I might have it start at 12. So we do need a bit of additional time here. So this can literally be just a throwaway continuation shot. And then we have this and that. Let's see what the timing is like, and then make our adjustments. So we're already more than that seconds over, so I'm gonna have to make some hard choices and trim things. Okay, this is where we start. Let's see. So we do that. Oh yeah, that can continue. Concessions is working fine. We reveal the crowd here. That might be a little long, so we're gonna shorten that. This is okay. This can be shortened. Seconds. This is okay. And then we have that. Okay, that's good. We've got our work. We've got something that works. So this doesn't need to be quite that long. This one was okay, but it's also no problem if we come out a little earlier, go to the concession stand a wee bit later. Also get the camera movement there, And then since we're already in the ticket box, that's fine. Let's go and cut this down here. Then we've got this, which is already pretty tightly trimmed. Follow my man. And this here will start later. Come out a wee bit early. And then we do this. I think this shot worked fine. Just gonna trim it up a tad, a notch, and then we'll come out maybe here and just reveal that ginormous crowd. And then we're not actually that long. I can see that working. We're still long, but you know, this is just a thing to fizzle out, so maybe it's not actually a problem. You made yourself in DAS, that's cool. That is so cool. Yes, please, I'd love to see that. I would love to see that. Wiggle extension, Ricky, I've never heard of that. How interesting. Okay. How does that work? Does that put bones into the clothing, or how does that work? We can come out earlier than that. We can come out now, so it doesn't have to be. So that's another second we can take off there, because we're just showing a collage of what's happening inside. So let's do that. Come out early. Yeah, this as well. Let's come out early. That's fine. We can leave that. Then we have this, and then we get a little faster here, and that's us on time, I think. We'll only see it when we put it together with the music. And then we've got that. So maybe, I think maybe just a tiny bit on the concession stand. Trim that down a tiny bit more. Or maybe I like it. I don't know. Oh, I see. I'll have to look into that. I think I'll just shave off a couple of frames on the concession stand here. Or should I? In fact, I might change the camera move on the concession stand. I think what I don't enjoy is that it sort of curls round like this. I think I'd like to keep it moving, so not have it curl round. See if I can make that happen. This is a good example of a take or just a second camera in this. So I could just go and hello. Where are you at, buddy? Here, there we go. So I could just go in here and then duplicate the camera if I didn't want to ruin it. And I'll call this one, let's say 8A. And then I changed the shot as well to 8A. And then I can even go and single it out. Shouldn't have done that. Should have kept this in here and then single it out. There we go. So instead of it curling around to this keyframe here, I'll go and remove that. And maybe just like a travel like this, maybe that's nicer. And I'll put this back to 350, and if we watch it in context, pin that, then we'll now see that that I've swapped out the camera and it's on that track. So yeah, now we don't have that curling movement anymore. But if we do change our mind, we can go back. So that's sort of neat. We're thinking, hey, maybe the previous camera was actually better. Change it back to this. And then just say, maybe the curling movement wasn't so bad. So, you know, it's a nice way to just try things out and see, does it work? And if not, make a change. Daja, it sort of depends. I think Unreal Engine can certainly handle the render, but anything that has to do with simulations is often problematic. So what I ended up doing with my cloth animation, I made two versions depending on what type of character I needed. So the one that had live physics made in Unreal Engine was one version, but then I had a lot of low-res characters. So for that, I used Alembic animations for that. So I let Marvelous Designer drape it and then imported the Alembic files into Unreal Engine, and that looked better. So for some detail draping, Marvelous Designer is better at calculating it, and then Alembic basically preserves that. So yeah, it sort of depends how tricky your garments are to drape. Craney, how you doing? Do I think the urban environment from before utilizes photogrammetry? I'm interested in this workflow. Which one from before? What you mean? Which urban environment you mean? It's possible. I mean, photogrammetry is big right now. It's interesting to me. We've done some photogrammetry tests for our project, and that worked okay. It's very hit and miss. I've never tried it with buildings myself. I'll leave the curling. Oh, the Amsterdam one, no, that is all. I think that is all modeled by reference. Yeah, I think that is all modeled. I don't think there's photogrammetry in there because the geometry looks very clean. That's usually always a giveaway. When the geometry is all over the place, then you can tell it's a photo scan. Like there's one store, Scans Library, they do that. They Gurkhan is his name. He's working for the Scans Library, and those are all things that are shot 2,000 photographs and then stitched together. But yeah, I think that the Amsterdam, that is all properly modeled. So hey, this is not bad. I think while I'm here, I might just go and do a little render of this. Keep playhead in here, so then I have a better idea of the timing. Yeah, let's do that. Save. Quickly do a little render. We haven't got movie render queue enabled yet. Movie render queue, and then the additional passes in case I want depth passes and bits and pieces. Let's go and restart that now. You could retopologize them technically, but it really depends on what's faster for the workflow. So I think for something that would be difficult to model and easier to photograph and where the geometry doesn't matter, I think it's easier to just leave it as is and then let things like Nanite handle things. But no, this is properly modeled. If you look at all the windows here, they would all be there. They're a little bit too perfect for that. Yeah, no, this was a good job. Barrel and bark. It's just, I had this literally the moment it came out. I had this on my radar and I thought it's a little expensive to buy, and then I waited a little bit and then it came up on the Humble Bundle and I thought, yes, superb. What was the highlight of your projects and aspiration for you in 2025? I think 25, I was really busy in 25. I started a full-time animation project called Heart of Mercy in 23. And that is, I think we're going to wrap that this year. And in 25, I was working full steam on that 5 days a week. And that was tricky. And I'm sort of, we're now in a different phase of the project. So I was animating a lot, and now we're in this phase where I've been rendering a lot. And we've rendered everything that was finished, that needed polishing, so that the compositing guys can get on with it. And now we're starting to animate again scenes that are nearly done, that are not quite done, all that. So no, I think Heart of Mercy has got to be year spanning process, 23, 4, 5, and probably also 6, but we're going to finish it this year, I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's go render this now with Movie Render Queue, and that's going to go, I'll put that into here, put that into here, and that's actually the Premiere project, is it? Let's do that, let's put that here. Render interior. And let's not make a JPEG, let's make a PNG. And let's not have alpha. And I don't think we need anything else for now. We can leave all that later. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's save that as a render setting as well. Save that. This is a good place for that. Render settings. And we're calling that RS interior. Okay. And 1K is enough for now. You may, yes, you can, yes, no problem. You can have my PC specs. I'm using a dual Xeon. It's a HP G8Z4 workstation. G4Z8. G4Z8, that's an HP G4Z8 with a dual Xeon Platinum processor, 8160. So 2 CPUs in there. It's got about 100 threads, which is pretty cool. And I'm using an RTX 4080 in this machine that has 16 gig of VRAM, and my computer has 256 gig of working RAM. And it sounds crazy to have that much RAM, but I do frequently exceed 128 gig of RAM, so it's sort of good to have 256. Latest version of Unreal Engine 5.6 is tricky to handle on this rig. Sorry, 5.7 is a little tricky on this rig, but in 5.6 works really well. Depends on how heavy the sets are. Upgrade from your laptop. Yeah, so I actually recommend in this day and age so we're not going to get another GPU this year or even next year. The 50 series is pretty much the latest one. They're going to keep going for another few years until the whole AI bubble hopefully bursts. We don't know yet. But so yeah, I wouldn't actually buy a new PC. I would go to somebody like PC Server and Parts and get something like a heavy-duty workstation. It's cheaper. Its specs are pretty insane for the money, and RAM is last generation. If you're working on 3D and you're not gaming, then you won't miss having DDR5 RAM and all that. So yeah, PC Server and Parts, that's why I got my rig, or my 3 rigs actually, and it's good. They have never let me down. Yeah, you're welcome. Because the thing is, those things, they're basically corporations. They just every 3 years they upgrade their hardware when the moment the warranty runs out. That doesn't mean the machine's been hammered. It's not been used for mining. It's been office PCs, heavy-duty workstations, and for what we have, it's just marvelous. Yes, but absolutely, it's one of those things. Let me show you. I don't have all that much open right now, and so this is the amount that I'm actually using. This is the amount of cached stuff. Sometimes if I have Premiere, Photoshop, Substance Painter, Blender and Unreal Engine open, as well as lots of messaging apps, I'm basically here. And in the middle would be 128 gig. But what you got to remember with this configuration, this is actually in use, and this here is the cached stuff. So if you see that also as used, then you get a good idea of what you're actually using. It's not actually, that was, I have a second workstation here next to me, which I use as a render node, and that one gets pretty hot, especially in the summer. So this one's pretty calm and quiet, which is really nice. Yeah, so it's relatively energy efficient, relatively, Okay, let me go and render this out as well. Let's watch this one more time, see if we're still happy with it, or if we need to do something else here. Yeah, I see there's this one thing, and I might just be... It's coming to a close a little bit too fast here, so I might just go take all these and just come out of this shot a little bit early. It's been bugging me, and it's the same here. I want to come out of this shot a little bit earlier, just to compensate for the camera movement. Actually, might put that back a notch like so. So we got this, we keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Yes, same speed, same speed, same speed, same speed. Ah, I see, I see. So now, keep it going, keep it going. Yes, 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 that's nice. Keep it up, keep it up. Yeah, I see, I see. That's the problem, that's the problem. We just go and drag this a wee bit. Come on, buddy, over here, like so. And now we have that movement continuing. I think maybe on this shot, we're going to do something similar, but the other way around. So going into here, getting the camera going a little early, and then, yes, 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 I like that. And then we've got this, and we've got this, and then we've got this. We'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll drop a shot. Yeah, but this is nice so far. Let's go and render this. And this is almost the same as that. It's just going to be render X'd. And that's going to be different render setting as exterior. And the rest is all good. All right. That is insane. That is just so crazy. That is insane. Do you know, my laptop has 64 gig, and it's a laptop. I'm using it, you know, occasionally when I'm on the road. I'm thinking, yeah, that's good. I always thought maybe I can upgrade it to 128. At the time, it was about $200, and I thought, yeah, it's not really a necessary expense. Well, I'll think about it for the future. Now it's about 800, and of course, I'm not going to do that. So it's just insane to think about what's happening, and now it has an impact on games consoles and all that sort of thing. Steam don't know how they're gonna what they're gonna price their new consoles at. The Steam, what's it called? The Steam box, the Steam machine. That's the one. They just don't know what how much they should charge for it, because you know it might be in scarce demand. Nvidia have postponed new GPUs, consumer GPUs, because it's much better for us to pay a subscription fee. It's insane, isn't it? Yeah, just Samsung and Crucial have both announced they're gonna withdraw from the consumer RAM and SSD business respectively. So Crucial don't want to make consumer RAM anymore, and Samsung don't want to make the Evo 860, 870 series anymore. They say they're gonna fulfill current contracts, but then there's no point for them to do that anymore. And I'm thinking, what does that leave us? I tell you, you basically got the last affordable PC, Leo. Absolutely. Do you know, Craney, if you have issues with that, and honestly, I do too sometimes. Like this is an Unreal Engine 5.7, and this isn't as smooth as I would like it to be. So usually when I work with projects, they look a bit smoother. If you ever have problems with that, you can go up to here and go to the, no, it's not here, it's here, to the engine scalability settings, or rather the viewport scalability settings, and turn that down. So if I go and set this to medium now, it takes a moment for the shaders to compile. Like my laptop defaults to medium, and the lighting doesn't look quite as fantastic anymore, but the response is now a little bit better. So by the time we get to putting all kinds of people in, I might have to do that. The other thing, as you build the scenes, you can see how the developers have made that. So in this case, actually just trying to answer your question from earlier, let me have a look. If we say yeah, look, this isn't photogrammetry. This is all properly hand modeled. Yeah, this is all hand modeled. You got all the clean lines here. This was an awesome modeling job. 100%. Yeah, it's just a crazy good texturing job. Texturing and modeling, very, very good. So the other thing, and it depends on the set, how the developers have made it. Like in this case, these guys were really good. The cinema interior, slightly different, but you can see that if I zoom out here a little bit, you can go to the levels tab, and sometimes this is set up that that not everything's on a main base level. So the way I like to animate is that I have my persistence level is usually completely empty, and then I attach a level to it that we use multiple times. And we do that because if the director wants to make a change in the level and we need that scene in like 3 different scenes, then we'd have to make that change 3 times. So it's a much better way to make it once in an attached level and then use your animation level as the master, as the persistent, and then the changes can be populated that way. So like here, you can just switch off all the foliage, or you can switch off all the debris or the props or even the street. So that's quite nice, because that means now my viewport is much smoother. So that's quite nice. Those are all tons of decals here. Sometimes these can also be split out to a different level. So if your scene isn't laid out that way, you can just go and make a new level or a data layer. That's if you're using world partitioning, that's the same principle here. And then you can go and select what you need. Like this here, for example, go to a particular level, like let's say like this one here, and then you can right click and say move selected actor to level, and that way you can split things out, and it allows you to switch things off if you don't need them. So that's another, those are 2 good workarounds that I'd recommend. There's also the nighttime lighting. I think it's a bit too dark for my taste. Let's give Lumen a moment to catch up here, and then we'll see this as nighttime. So I don't think it's quite there. It might just be a little bit too. Yeah, this might not be. Let's try cinematic, see if that works. It's not quite nighttime. It's a little bit still too much daylight coming in, so it hasn't quite caught up. Maybe I'll go play it for a second. Then it might go and reset itself here. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Make notes. All good. Oh, it's because, no, I wasn't actually, I had this, there's another thing you can do. Is it getting better? Is it getting better? It's those types of tips that nobody really tells you about. You gotta find that out by yourself, and I find that just so tragic. Maybe the nighttime lighting is actually usable. I had a look at it yesterday, and I felt it didn't feel quite right. I think the reflections are still daytime reflections, so I'm not entirely sure about that. We'll use the day lighting for now. I think that looks more moody. Okay, Control R to disable real time here quickly. And then I'll go and put this into Premiere, and then we can have a look at that together with the music. Let's do that. See where we are. And then the next step, I don't know if we get to it today. But you know, I'm sort of in the mood. I might just go and keep going here. Start a bit of a substance painter session, and see if we can start texturing. It's here, it's render external, it's an image sequence. And this is actually not 23.976, it's in 30. Last we checked. And then we have the interior as well. And this is also in 30 frames. And let's go and put these two together. We start exterior and then we go all the way to here. And I think this is the old sequence here. I'm going to go and put that in as a sort of reference. Make that sort of 50% opacity, and we'll see if where we're roughly there. So we're going into the cinema a little bit earlier. And we're still a little long here on my thing, so we may have to go and speed this up a little bit. So it's not quite as speedy as it really needs to be. Yeah, we need to be in the theater at that point already. Right, exactly, Ricky. Well, let's stop the piano music here quickly. So at this point here, this is the moment where we want to be in the interior already. So what am I going to do there? Let's move this. Let's move that to here. And then we'll take the timing from there. I'm just thinking make the shots shorter. One can be dropped here. And then we go into the theater, like here. This could all be a little bit faster. But other than that, that's actually pretty cool, and that's the sort of fade. Haha! It's not bad, is it? So all we'll do then is make the intro shots here a little snappier. This can be as long as. This can be shorter. We can shorten that up. This can be shorter. They can all be a bit shorter. We'll just make him a little snappier, and then I think we're there. That is pretty cool. I say, you know, for an hour and a half worth of work, this is neat. This is neat. So everything in the beginning, I could even do that in editing here. That's possible. But since we have it in Unreal Engine, I might as well have that. Do that. So this I might just leave untouched, or maybe make it a little shorter, so that we can at least see it. Make that just a 2-second. This is okay. This is the third shot's gonna get shortened. And those all get shortened. This one we might as well leave, because I think I like the timing of that. You're right. Come on. We could do this. So what did I say here? Sort of 2 seconds. I'll just start here. And then we'll go for that sort of here. Let's do that. This one will make shorter. We'll just come out later. Let's come out later. Come in. Oops. Come in later, cut out earlier. Saves us some time here as well. This one we're making slightly shorter as well. And then we'll have this, and I think this is also going to be shorter here. And this I might just leave as it is. And if we have to, we can also make the second one a bit shorter. This we'll leave alone because I'm going to go and maybe dissolve into the other shot. Yeah, but so far so good. Okay, let's see if we can just re-render this. See how it goes. I like the idea that you refer to it as a sequel. It's exactly what it feels like as well. Bring my nighttime music back here. Good stuff. Don't want to miss the Mr. Rogers vibe. Yes, and then when it comes to rendering it out properly, I would probably use ID maps and as well a depth map. With that, I can then go and use create depth of field after the fact. So I don't have to bake that in. We can use it for previewing purposes, but Unreal Engine's depth of field isn't great. So it works, it's fast, so it has a in focus plane here, and then it's got the same, or like a pass blurred at the back, blurred at the front, and it just gets mixed together. So that means these traveling shots here, you will see that line as it moves, so it's not good. To be honest, I mean, it does make a difference, but it might not make. It depends on what you do, really. It certainly makes your PC much more snappy, but it's barely noticeable. So I've just read that somebody's underclocked his 32 whatever it was megahertz RAM to 2400 for stability, and he didn't notice a difference at all. My RAM is slow as well. I've got the 2400 RAM, but it's buffered, so there's also ECC RAM, so it's error correction in the RAM. Sometimes what happens with consumer hardware, they don't have that, and that makes the RAM faster, but it also means that if there's bit rot because of data transfer, an error doesn't get detected and just gets read back into the CPU, causes a crash. Whereas server hardware can't afford that. This is why they employ error correction when writing to the RAM and reading from the RAM. So consumer RAM doesn't do that. What happened here? Do we need to re-import that? Or does it just look awesome? Let me just go and re-import it. So yeah, in answer to your question, it doesn't make that big a difference. It certainly makes a measurable difference, but if you see it in regards to performance, it might not. It's a good thing to remember because you can save yourself a ton of cash. Yeah, PC Server and Parts. Have a look at them. They have a store on eBay as well. They have some good bargains there. Worth checking out if you're in the price range of having to spend $4,000 for a PC or more, you might as well invest into a good GPU, do that, and then get a PC from them. Only because it just saves you so much cash and you get more bang for your buck too. So let's do this. Let's do this goes here, and then this goes here. Might that work? That might work. That might work. You're very welcome. I'm glad you stopped by. I'm glad you stopped by. Yeah, and have fun. I hope it's gonna work out. Let me go and see what happens if I go and dissolve this from here to there, because that'll save us some other time. So if we go and say -1 second this direction, and then we just go and do that, and then we do this and say +1 second, and then we do that, and then we can sort of do this and that. Oops. And then we do that, and then we have a little, oh come on, then we have a bit of a, oops, transition gone here. So now maybe we can go and oops. Oh, now we're out of time. Yes, that is not good because that's still the sequence from earlier mixed in with the new one. Okay, I gotta do some cleaning up here. And then we may have to render that again. I should have just put it as version 2. Yeah, I should have just done the hat, because there was that timing change. Yeah, so from here to here, so we're done at 422, and that's cool. Then we should be okay. I have it set to 23.976 because that's what we use for our project. So -1 gets us this, and then that is the thing still. We can go and do that. Then we do this. We do that and that. And then this goes here, and that might work. Angel! Hola, está de Madrid. Good to hear from you. Good to see you, buddy. That wasn't so good. Let's see what that looks like if we don't do the dissolve. Maybe I've changed my mind on the dissolve. We do this and that. And we could even this is really where we want that to happen. We make that a couple of frames earlier. Let's see what that looks like, timing wise. Oh my God, that's almost completely perfectly in time. There's, I would just change a couple of shots very slightly, but that's really nitpicking. So I think I'm happy with this for now. There's always things will amend there, but no, this is good. This is good. How do you guys feel? If I were to get myself another coffee, should we make a start on the theater here? The job entails splitting this apart in Blender so that we have theater object, we've got this object with the back wall. I think we're going to take the windows, the posters off because we have similar things from the inside, so I don't think we have to remake those. We'll just use the ones from the inside, turn that into a blueprint, and have a little Substance Painter session to retexture that. Are you up for that? Do another hour or so. I'm up for it. Coffee is here. Nice piano music is here. So if you're game, I'm game. Substance Painter can be a little bit hit and miss. The one thing I do want to do that might take a little back and forthing here is to match this brickwork here at the back with this. So this is, I don't think that's a repetitive texture. That's a proper texture. If we had a projection texture, it might be easier to do that in Unreal Engine directly, but I don't think I have. Nancy's good. Julia's made me a popcorn emitter. I can't wait to see that. That would be cool. Julia's into effects in Unreal Engine, so that sounds great. Let's go do that then. Let's go do that. I'll go and have a quick word with the bathroom and I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. We're going to go and texture this and it'll look amazing. We'll use the reference of the old one and we'll see if we can approximate it and do it justice. Be right back. Well, exactly. Who doesn't want popcorn? I've just seen it. It looks really nice. I'm looking forward to trying it out. It's going to be really cool. So, this theater thing, there might be a few things we need to do. So we can see here that it might need re-UVing. So it's not quite cohesive. Not that that matters all that much, but since I'm going to have different pieces here, I might just go and do that while I'm there. I'll use Blender 4.5.3, I'm thinking. Because, you know, I don't trust the newfangled stuff, nor have I downloaded it actually, so... And after several hours, when it actually does start, I'm jealous. I've seen people on the interwebs who say, "Oh, Blender is so cool, it starts for me in 10 seconds." And I'm thinking, really? Because for me, it's more like 2 minutes. This is the original facade here. I do also have the original model that I've used from Blender here. So these were the original textures, and this wall, I'm going to redo that in the brick, and I might give it something more like an emissive thing here. These signs here, they're completely flat right now, so that makes them easy to swap out. So in the signage here, I could then go and swap that for JPlace. So I might leave it, but ideally I would go and rebuild those letters as well. That means we can have one hanging down, but that's really extra credit. I think for now I'm just going to go and leave it here. And there was a couple of DAS options here as well in the studio with DAS 3D, for those of you who remember. And then there was the DAS Pro Artist series as well. Oh, I don't have that anymore. Oh no, actually, is it this? No. Oh, that's just the pictures here that get swapped out as well. So yes, these pictures down here, they have picture frames in the interior set. So I might go and remove them and use exactly the same ones. So I don't have to worry about these things. The trash cans, I might just redo in Chrome, because the model itself is very good. It's just the textures are not fantastic. Some of these are actually from me when I did this in Blender. So, but now we're going to do this all in Substance Painter. First of all, I've got this scene here. It's going to be one combined, and I'll make a duplicate of that scene, full copy, and I'm going to call it 2 split. And now I have 2 scenes between which I can do things. So let's do the walls first here. This whole thing, as well as this. So if I go and split this out by selection, and I'll call this one back wall. Will it work? Yeah, so the UV mapping here isn't quite cohesive, so I'll go and take care of that. So that's the back wall. And we can also get rid of some of these things here, particles. Also, we don't need that anymore. The signage can stay. And this is one. I'll call it facade split. And I think we're gonna let's split these things out as well. And then the front too. I'm just pressing L here to select the linked bits and pieces. There is actually an easier way to do that. I can just go and use that. And then it selects all these things here with the shift key held down. Split that, call it, which one is it? Yeah, these ones here. That's posters front. Then we have trash cans. I think I really only need one of them. Trash cans. Oops. And that's a shame, isn't it? This is actually the facade. And these here were the trash cans. Sorry about that. Trash cans. Posters, and then we have the doors. I probably want the doors closed and separate, which also means I only need to do one door. Or I'll just do them all. I might just do them all. They might be slightly tricky to select. I might do that at the last moment here. This little building, I might see if I can take it direct without having to split out more stuff here. And the splitting, by the way, is necessary because I need to bake these things in Substance Painter. So like I can't take the whole thing because that means the baking cage is going to get super confused. So this is the whole room here, I'm thinking. Foyer. By selection. Oh, not the foyer, it's the box office, isn't it? There we go. That, and then we've got a forgotten this bit here that needs to come together with the box office. Oops, that wasn't quite correct. So this is just the trim here. So box office as well as trim, and Control J. And of course it was the wrong way around, so we'll rename it box office. Popeye, you're welcome. You can have one ticket at any time. Welcome, welcome, buddy. How's it going? Okay, these are then the, whoops, these are the doors. Are you over 18 though? That is my question, because, you know, might be R-rated movies in the theater, who knows? Doors. Damn it, renamed the wrong thing again. So this is in fact the facade. I don't know why I have trouble with that. These are the doors. I'm doing okay, yes, thank you so much for asking. How are you, buddy? I'm going to try to have the whole theater sign, like the lettering here. I'll see if I can use the whole thing without having to split up each letter. That is, ideally, I don't want to do that. Okay, that's the sign by selection. This is it, right? Yes, perfect. So this is the theater sign. And then this, I'm hoping, can also stay one piece, except these are the two planes for the front. I will go and split those out as well. Mean signs, perfect. Okay, and now our mission is to save and export every single piece and then see what we can do about it. I think first of all, also, let's this is more like the awning now, isn't it? Awning. There. Start at the very top. Have a look what the UV space looks like for this. I call overlapping UVs here. There we go. Smart UV project. Much better. And I saw there's some other weird geometric stuff going on here though. That we do not appreciate. Because what else? How else do we... What's that Z fighting about? Yes, what happened there? I'm not sure what that is, to be honest. Oh, is it, did I have to sync that in somehow? That might be possible. Yes, I think I had to sort of sync that in because we're replacing this part with the split out piece. So I might just go and get rid of it. Yeah, let's do that because that Z fighting, that's not good. Let's go and get rid of that. And if it needs fixing, we'll fix it later. Actually, this edge looks better than that here. It seemed to have been closed over there. Why is that not closed? It's almost like we're missing a piece here. Maybe let's get away with this. Yeah, no Z fighting. Everyone's happy-ish. We may have to go and do some seams here though. The smart UV project can't handle it. Yeah, this isn't. Is that good? There's an... Yeah, let's do that. Untitled, that's good. Yes, I mean, it's not ideal. As long as nothing's... Oh, there we go. These little things here, they have some issues. But they're fairly unimportant details, so I don't think we have to worry too much about it. Once we average the island scales, I do have to. Oh, I don't have that installed here. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. I have the UV Packmaster, but not in this version of Blender. Let me go and save it here, and let's use the other Blender. Let's use Blender 4.1 where it's installed and totally working. So I'll just do the packing in there. I've just recently upgraded actually to UV Packmaster 4 and I've never installed it. This one is still 3 here. And even though it's made with a different version of Blender. Blender doesn't actually mind. Blender's okay with that. You know, I'm about to start doing things in Substance Painter, so yeah, you haven't missed that much. It's all good. Welcome back, Darja. Welcome back. Was it here? Was it here? It was here. Then it was here. Then it was here. Yes, and that was Blend Split V2. And then Blender's gonna say this was made with a different version. Expect loss of detail. We're totally fine. We're not gonna worry. Come on, buddy, you can do it. There. So I'm about to do some UV unwrapping and packing. I think average island scale is always good, and then we let you pack it. It's not elegant, but it's, you know, it's packed. That's neat. So that was the awning, then we have the back wall here. And do we have UVs for that? We do. Smart UV project. That should be fine. Then we do average island scale and pack. Perfection. Box office, we have it here. Smart UV project. Not bad. Average island scale. Pack it. Pack it, buddy. Well done. Doors. Smart UV project. Average island scale. Pack. All right. Main sign. That's just this. That has correct UVs, or the UVs match my texture that I'm going to use. So I'll use that. Everything else will be retextured. These things I'm going to leave alone because they're just placeholders. We're going to use the ones from the interior. Then we have the theater sign. Now that I don't know what that's probably going to look messy no matter what, but I do see some overlapping UVs here, so that is not good. I'm wondering if if I should just pack it rather than, what are these things here? They are those. Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So they don't really need, they might just need to be split out into their own object. I just don't want them overlapping with the sign, so that isn't great. But they're both basically packed, so I don't think I need to worry too much about this. I'll just go, yeah, that's the ticket, isn't it? So these can be really small because that's just going to be some metal here. So I might just use a pixel shader conglomerate for that. So that's just going to be flat metal value. So let's just put them here and not worry about it. And then at least it's not overlapped. It's a bit easier with projection shaders. Yeah, I think we'll leave it like this. We're gonna leave it like that. And then we have the trash cans. And those, I don't know if I'm gonna actually do anything with them or if they're also gonna be placeholders. They're pretty much, they're just equivalent, aren't they? Yeah, they're just on top of one another. I'm gonna leave them as they are. Are they? No, they're also overlapping one another here. Average and pack. It's fine. We'll leave it like this. I'm not even sure if I'm going to use them or not. So, but that's good. Override, yes, we're good. We're good. There's no data loss. We're all good. So, oh yes, then another thing I want to do is get rid of all the material zones on these because they're all now, they're no longer usable here. Oh really? Do I have to do that on all of them? Or am I just not worry? I might just go and not export them with the materials. I think I might just do that. And not get rid of all the material zones. I might just go and export them all separately here. So they're all going to be OBJs. And this is going to be the awning. And yeah, selected only is good. And we don't want to export the materials. But coordinates and normals, that's what we want. And we can leave it all at that scale. Awning, and we can have the back wall here. Back wall. Same thing, select it and don't export materials. Box office, all right. And we have doors, all right, good stuff. And then the main signs, we'll leave those alone. The posters we'll leave alone as well. And that sign, theater sign, and the trash cans, we'll export them for now, but we don't know if we're gonna use them. And we'll just go and try to get something handsome looking in Substance Painter for all of this. So this might be tricky with the selections, but it's not going to be that much, so it'll be all fine. Yeah, so for this, I think mainly I want to use, there's just so many material groups, so I'm going to go and get rid of them all. Because, you know, animated water, I don't know if I'm your man for that, Popeye. I think for that, you might be better off buying something like a product and use that to make animated water. I mean, there's plenty of tutorials on how to make that in Blender, but I'm thinking, depending on what the water is that you need, in Unreal Engine, I'll probably use Fluid Flux. That's a good one. Or if you need something more generic, then look into Liquigen. That's something similar to Embergen, but for fluids. So that can basically create any sort of fluids and something. Ocean, yeah, Fluid Flux is good for that. But Blender, I think if you're in Blender, there is an ocean modifier. That's probably the easiest thing that you can do. There's literally just a modifier that you put on a plane and that makes you an ocean. And you don't have to pay for that. So that's sort of cool. How much do I use AI? And if I make 3D models, animating 3D still photos, would I do that? I don't, but we use it for our project sometimes. So for certain shots that are faster to build in AI, we would use that, yes. Yeah, I think the company that I work for, they've made an entire movie with AI backgrounds. That was sort of cool. Tolton is the movie. Yeah, these things here, I think I might use those as emissive surfaces later. And then let Unreal Engine animate those colors. So those I won't do in Substance Painter here. So I probably don't have to worry about these guys. And same with that. So these things, I'm going to make those into emissive surfaces with the special material. So that's sort of neat. I'll go and add a new material in here. So those are color lights, and then I'll assign that. And then we have these things. So these things, they're going to just be regular lights. I'm thinking I like for the rim to be metal though. Let's see if I can do that in Substance Painter. Yeah, because this isn't quite what I wanted. Because even though this is linked, that's not really what I wanted. So yeah, I suppose I could do that, and then we do that. I have to do that on every single light though, so that's a wee bit annoying. Yeah, but that's how we have to do it. That's how we have to do it. Lamps, yes. Ah, dang. They just reselected themselves. So that is pretty uncool. I can do it from here. That's quite nice. So that might be neat. If I go and if I do that, that's just, maybe it is better to do that in Substance Painter. See if that algorithm works a little bit better. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. A couple of days ago, you were struggling to implement a new feature at work, but the requirements were strange. They didn't fit together. When I went to the manager, he said to go with my gut because AI writes the requirements now. Oh, Ricky, that's just sad, isn't it? That is just so sad. Oh man. I should also make myself a new folder here. I wonder where this whole AI thing is going to go eventually, because I don't know, it's just everyone's bending over backwards to implement it in some fashion, not really knowing why or how. It's just sad. It's just so sad. Is this the awning, right? I think 1K texture is probably going to be fine. Like a 2K texture. Let's do 2K. Let's do 2K. And do OpenGL. It's fine. We have nothing else really. It's true. It's true. I've seen that as well. People who can't live without it anymore. And I'm thinking, man, that's just, isn't that sad? And it's only just begun. I mean, seriously. Make it 4K. Don't need an ID map. Boom. Let's see if it works. Yes, people who are just literally glued to that. Is that healthy? It won't. You're so right, Darja. It won't. Yeah, so this part here, that's where the cage sort of got it wrong. But we're okay because we've got the little crevices here. There's just 2 signs in the way, so we're okay with that. Yeah, same with these lights. So this is where the AO is basically thrown a shadow on here. So that's where the cage just got it wrong. But I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. To make that any better, you'd literally have to split this up. You can't have these hollow things. That roll would need to come off. But it's probably good enough for what we're doing. So it's going to be mainly sort of a metal here. Do we have any metal? Metal brushed is probably neat. Like galvanized, that's the sort of stuff you'd have on here, right? I'm thinking. With ever so slightly different scale, and also there's that seam, so we don't want to see that. Maybe instead of UV tiling, we're going to use UV projection. We're going to use triplanar. Then that's gone there. And tiling, let's try something smaller, maybe. You know, that's really all we need. And so that's metal galvanized. I'm going to have one more fill layer for the dirt. And the dirt is now going to be sort of dark and grimy, and I think the roughness is also like, you know, unrough like this. That would be cool, Darja. Okay, this is cool. And now we're going to add a black mask to this. And in the mask, we'll go and use a generator which is going to be the dirt generator. And that's almost cool, but not quite. So I'm mainly looking at the knobs here rather than these big black patches. They're not really, I'm not really worried about that. Also the metal color, I might make that a little bit darker here. So it's seen some weathering, and it might also have seen something like a bit of water damage. So I'll go add another one to it, and this one can be something like a sort of whitish blemishes. I might call that calcification. And this is also going to be a black mask. And in that mask we're having another generator, and it's going to be sort of the dripping something. Oh, we can even make that a different color. Maybe it's a... Maybe there's some aluminium somewhere. There. Could be aluminium, could be sort of or it could just be proper rust. That might be neat. I've got rust. Maybe rust is better. There, that's our awning, and then this is where the signs go, and these things are going to be replaced with lights. Once I set them up as materials, this is going to be just fine. This is fine. Let's go and save that. This was the awning. And while we're here, we might as well go and get the textures out already. I'm thinking, yes, I might do that. I think so. The easiest way to do that is once they're set up as surfaces, I might go and use just a small level sequence as a loop, and then they just go from green to red to blue, basically like the 3D Shenanigans colors. They might just go and do that. Oh yeah, absolutely, Popeye. Yes, Substance Painter is used for that all the time. I was going to export this out here. Oops, in here, I don't think I need that anymore. Chapel wall. Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure I'm done with that. Okay, this is where our textures are gonna live, and we're gonna use the Unreal Engine packed version for this, and we don't need emissive. I mean, no, let's not use emissive. It's just normal metallic and color. That's all. And we need to redo this on the clip there. So UE pack there. That's it. And we have only these. That's perfect. 2K is fine. We got no UVs. We got no UDIMs. Let's do this thing. Okay, here they are. This is neat. So let's use Blender. Just to group them all together. Just use Blender. And put those textures on already. So there's the colored lights, but there's also basically everything else. Awning material, assign. Now the lights have gone away, so I'll go have to redo that, but that's okay, that's okay. I'll go to the shading tab here. Oh, that's a movie poster, I guess. We don't need to use that anymore. With this, I think I've got the what's it called installed here, the Node Wrangler, which does this. So that sets all this up, and now we're almost good. So this in Unreal Engine is going to look pretty neat. Sign, oh, that's the theater sign. We don't want that. We want the main signs. So this is what that's going to look. So not bad at all. And then on top of this, we're going to go and do the do these little signs here. I don't know why this streak is here. That's the one thing that I'm not exactly happy with, but that's probably a UV thing. I could sort of paint that out. Yeah, I don't really like that too much, but maybe we won't see it. We might see it. I don't know. Yeah, that's the only thing I'm not entirely happy about. And that is gonna be. Oh, I know what that is. Haha, I know what that is. It's the seam that I should have strategically placed at the back of this. Yes, so that is the one way to avoid it, to basically mark that seam. Movie posters, yeah, I'll deal with that in the in Unreal Engine from different movie posters. We've got some slightly better ones from the interior, so I'm going to use those for the outside. Yeah, that's a little peculiar, isn't it? So I'd have to go and mark that seam and move that elsewhere, mark that manually. That would mean I'd have to redo the textures quickly. Oh well. The UV, no, I can't rotate the UV. I have to literally I have to unwrap it differently. I'd have to go and, here, this is the way to do it. I have to go from here to, say, there. And we're going to mark this as a seam. That was wrong, wasn't it? So one more to the... One more to here. That's that line. So you go and you say, what's UVs? Mark seam. And now that's a seam. And now if I go and say UV Smart UV Project, it'll look a little different. I should have, you know what? I should have just made a copy of the UV map. So this is basically the before. And if I go and do it again, then we can have a look at them. See if it's actually different. Average island scale and pack islands. So before and after, yeah, see, this is where that's changed. Okay, no biggie. Substance Painter, I'm sure is going to be ecstatic. Selected. That's that. Let's hope. So with this, let's re-import the mesh. And the only thing that we need to now redo is basically the baking. So the material stack should be able to stay the same. Fingers crossed, my friends. It's the project that keeps on giving. It's still there. Ay, caramba, mamacita. Hasn't helped at all. I don't know why. Oops. So where, I wonder, is that then? It's almost like the projection itself is at fault there, because this material is actually okay. It's just the, is it the dirt generator here? Ah, let me just use this. And does that work? Try planar, did that work better? Could it be that tiling here? That's pretty uncool, huh? Rotating the cylinder might be easier. Well, the thing is, no, I'm not sure, because I don't think we have an actual problem, because this material shows it's okay. So it looks like it's coming from a different material then, which that is what sort of worries me. It comes from here, it comes from the dirt projection. So it could well be on one of our baked maps. So it could be that. That has it, and this sort of has it as well. That uses UV projection. If we use triplanar for this, it doesn't seem to make a difference. Maybe fill? Yeah, it's literally the dirt that is causing it. So if I can figure out which... Yeah, it is that, isn't it? This is that seam. Okay, one last try, my friends, one last try. I think we're close, but I think the other thing that we may need here is with the seams. Oops. We'll do that. Mark seam. And we'll do this, the marker seam here. And that should then allow this thing to be spread out flat with the split at the back. Let's see if it works. Let's see if it works. The stuff you gotta do, man. I'll make another one here, another duplicate. Smart UV Pro, or just unwrap. That's an. If I say unwrap, then it should just do this, shouldn't it? Should do this. Pack islands. No, not actually pack. I meant average. Average. Let him pack. Different yet again. It's a shame it doesn't leave it cohesive, because I would just like for this cylinder here to just get saved as it is. Let me just go and say these things. Let's unwrap those. put that in here. Oh, what did I just do? That was this now, wasn't it? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. UV, just unwrap that. Scale. Move here, scale a bit more. Little more. We'll leave it like this. Let's see, this should be good now, shouldn't it? Okay, let's disregard these textures here. Export that out. Awning. No materials. Re-import mesh. Big hunk again. Come on. Who says 3D isn't exciting? Magicness. We've persevered, my friends, and we were we were successful. If I were nitpicky, I would say now we can see this split up here, but I'm not, so I'm totally good with that. Way better than having the split down all the front there. So quick save, export. Crazy, isn't it? The amount of loops you have to think through. Control Shift E, isn't that what I pressed? Control Shift E, there we go. And thankfully we can just go and overwrite that. All of that. Oops, did I even do it? I didn't, did I? Export, all right. So now, over on my other monitor, these are the maps. They go in here, replace. In Blender, if we're lucky, there is a way to refresh things. Anything that has an image editor. That has that. Where is that? I always forget where it has the thing that refreshes the textures. Image, there it is. Image reload. Control R. Did you do it? No, you did not do it. Why not, buddy? Okay, fine. I'll just do it all again by just highlighting all of this, Xing that, go into the PBR shader here, Control Shift T, bring in those maps. Yes! Successfulness! Very good. And then that, of course, with metal is going to look rather cool. So I'm just going to go and reselect the lights here so that we can go and put a better, yeah, and there's our seam now. Haha, perfect. Let me just go and reselect the lights here. Just so that I can put that on that material. Color lights assign. And I might even do them in groups. I might do them individually. I haven't decided that yet. For now, maybe we should do them in groups, like the odds and evens. That might be neat. So color lights 1 is that. Let's say they're sort of, just for now, they're pink. And then every other one is going to be a different color. Let's do that. So select all of those, and then every other one. Oh, how do I unselect them? Also, there were none. Maybe these are actually off. Let's not worry about these at the back here. Yes, they need to be different material zone, I suppose. There. And that's going to be color lights 2 assign. And then we can have, so those are those, and those are those. Perfect. So those can be something like green, maybe. There. That's nice. And then I can go and animate those. So that's one part done. I think we can probably do one more. Let's see if we can do the back wall and see if we can match something that'll look good in brick. So I think maybe something like a black tiling here sounds good, and then something like a concrete thing at the top here, and then what's now the Artex sort of thing. Let's make that a brick. First of all, do we have any awkward seams here? Might as well check that now. Oh, we'll find out. I guess we'll find out. We have exported that already. So save settings, new project, 2K textures. That's going to be the back wall. See how quickly we can do that. Let's do OpenGL. Tile workflow is good. And save everything. Okay. First things first, a bit of baking. Everything, no UV map. 4K maps. Let's see what I have in basically all my libraries here. Materials and smart materials. Do we have, oh, nothing really, show all, go on. Do we have brick something? There's a bare brick wall. That might look a little rough. There's a clammy brick wall. And there's clay terracotta, but not something. We might want to see something like a proper. If only my substance assets were working, huh? Maybe there's something like wall. Here we go. Brick wall. I'm sure there's tons of them. Swamp, gnarly bark. That'll be nice. Swamp ground. Look at that. Swamp loose. It's worth having that subscription. There's always something you can find here. If you have the Steam version of this, you get sort of a one-off asset pack. But these seem to change all the time. Brick. Let's just see brick. See what that comes up as. I think maybe brick wall might be better. Creased brick wall, now that. Damaged brick wall. Impacted brick wall. I think that looks similar to what we have. It'd be good to know if we can Cartagena bricks. Maybe that's that. I think there's grout coming out. This is not for us. Let's not use that. Impacted wall has that. That could work. Let's use it. So that'll be on these walls here. This here, I'm thinking, what would that be? It's sort of an Art Deco type feature. So that could be more like a raw plaster thing, perhaps. Possibly. Or it could be something, I don't know, maybe something black and shiny. Or chrome. It could also be that chrome that we've used for the awning, or a variation of that. Maybe something like slightly weather impacted chrome. That might work. This is still downloading. It's just got to be the best wall ever. What if we had in the original here? It's the same material. We can try that too. Let's see if it works. It might not look good. I can see this wall and that wall being brick, but this I'm thinking should really stand out. Maybe we can just use a different type of bricks if they work in principle. And then this is something like a like a concrete up here, I'm thinking. And this we won't see because the awning is covering that, I think. Come on, wall. Do your thing. Do we have sort of tiles? We don't have tiles. Maybe that's something else we can look for on the asset store here. Honeycomb tiles, ceramic tiles, that might look nice. Something like that, that might be neat. I bet there's color variations on there as well. If not, we can just pick a different color if we don't like green and cream. I can see that working. Let's do that. I don't know why this takes so forever to download here. But yeah, I want to do this as well. Ceramic tiles, that's nice. Honeycomb tiles, my goodness, that looks very Mass Effect Andromeda. Also a nice splash of color. Yeah, sometimes you just got to try it out. Let's try that out as well. They've got some good materials on here, I have to say. Bronze hexagon. Now that would be quite the statement. Not sure if the city of Amsterdam would have that on the wall, but hey. It's been many years since I've been there, so I don't know. Come on, we're nearly there. And it's the impacted brick wall that takes so long. So looks like the ceramic tiles are already down. Let's start with that then, ceramic tile. So if we put that here. Almost, I say almost. So let's perhaps play with the tiling first. So I'm just looking at these pillars here, and maybe UV projection isn't isn't the right thing for us here. Oh, that might be neat. So we'll use, I think, a black mask, and in that black mask we'll use a paint layer, and I'm going to use the polygon selection tool. I can see it working. I can see it working. And if we don't, we can always, you know, change whatever parameters we have here. If we do have any, do we? It's a random seed. I can. Oh, that's the damage that's on here. If it's too big, we might make it smaller. So that's already pretty cool. And if we'd like to try something else, let's go and disable this and try the honeycomb tiles here. And I can use the same. I can use the same mask, but I can see. I don't think I like that color already. There are different presets here, so that might also work. Especially if we make it triplanar, so then it's, yeah, that might also work. And there's yellow circle, that's the other one. I don't think, not sure about the yellow. That could also be cool, especially a bit smaller. Yeah, let's use the same mask that we had here. So if we go and say copy mask, and then we go and paste that mask in here. Then we've got two versions. That's quite nice. Impacted brick wall. Let's put that on here. That is very neat. Triplanar. And we have different types here. Buff, wire cut brick wall. Not bad. Light wire cut brick wall. Also not bad. Basalt black. It's possible that this would look different than the previous one. But I think maybe let's try it. Let's try to make it red and turn the tiling down even more. I know the brick wall is pretty slim. I'll use this again because we only have these portions. Actually, did we want to use this down here, or is that going to be this is going to be the tile as well? It might be the tiling. There, we're not going to see the interior. That should have covered it all. And then these two things at the top here. So now it's kind of cool because we can now say, did we want the green or did we want the other stuff? So it's sort of nice to have that that option. I'm going to see if we have plaster. Or maybe it's a concrete. Yeah, something like that. I'm thinking that's good for these things at the top here. Give them a minute to calculate. Oh, we've got cracked, dune, and wet. I'm thinking maybe the dune was quite nice. Let's use dune. Perfect. And this is Toxic FPS. Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it, buddy. Very nice. Let's make another black mask here. In the black mask we have a paint layer. Absolutely, Julia. And then we'll just... Oops. Do that. Oh, we've forgotten to put there's a couple of things in this mask that need to be rectified. Here we go. Oh, OmniArt, thank you so much for subscribing as well. Welcome, buddies. Maybe this is actually better to do in 2D. And then we know where this is. Because these are really small bits and pieces, I bet. It would be good to know where what is here. I don't actually know. Maybe it's easier to do in 3D and just be patient, I guess. Yeah, this is a little tricky here. I should have separated the UVs out, perhaps better. Good thing is we're not going to see behind here, so we're good. And maybe this is also concrete. And we're not going to see the back of that, so that's neat. That might be concrete. Oops. Looks like OBS is giving me some issues here. Have I disappeared or something? Let me know if I'm still on the air. I'm not entirely sure at this point. I haven't gone off the air by my own free will, but it looks like the chat is disconnected, and I've got some bizarre error message there in OBS. We're still on YouTube. All right, that's Leo. Thank you so much. That's really good to know. That is good to know. I'm still here. I'm still on the West Coast. It's good to hear. It's good to hear. So this might be a good start here. Let me just go bring this into Blender first, and then into Unreal Engine, and then we'll just see if this is good. I'm not entirely sure about this middle piece here. I can't decide if the green might be more what I'm after. What do you think? What's your preference? Do you like the green, or do you like the sort of mirrory, silverish stuff? Any preference? I think there's also, was there anything else? I think we can have something like a blue. This green, like this green, that might be a cool statement too. And there's also one moment color. Oh yeah, that's this one here. It's either this green or this green. And you're still here lending support. That's nice, Leo. I can't quite decide. I'm almost thinking I want to go with this. We probably have to see it in context, won't we? Let me go and save it and export it here. Woohoo! What was this called again? This was the back wall. Let's go and export that. So this is also Unreal Engine packed, but without the emissive, so we still have that. And 2K is probably fine. Export, all right. Save settings. Back wall all goes into here. And then meanwhile in the Blender, I will just take all of that away. Ding, perfect. We're going to make one material that's going to be called back wall, and in there we'll use all these and boom. Yep, it's all there. It's all there. Backside we don't really worry about. Let me just go and bring this individual piece into Unreal Engine and just see what the tiling looks like when we look at it together with these buildings here. So that's here. So in Facade, should we make another folder here? Facade split. Oh, I can do it with OBJs, but in all honesty, I think there's also a plugin I can use that sends these things with texture directly from Blender into Unreal Engine. I don't know if I have that installed right now. I'm just going to go and export this as an FBX. So this is back wall V1, and it's just the selected, and we do want the materials right now. No, that OBJ and Unreal Engine works perfectly fine, but sometimes it's just a bit cumbersome to figure out where exactly, what the rotation needs to be and all that. So I find it a little easier to just bring it in as FBX, and then the scale is fine. Okay, that's what that looks like. We need a material. I'm thinking we can probably borrow a master material. Always make our own. Let's make our own. I like it. Let's make our own. I'll call it J's base mat. And in the facade, I'll say textures. And then in textures, I might make a little folder for back wall. And I'll drag those into here. I'm just defining some parameters here. And that goes in here. Thankfully, you only have to do this once, and then you can override those. So that's the base color. Oh, chat's disconnected again. And reconnected. I think there's something major wrong here. But hey, if you guys say I'm still on air, I'm still on air. That's perfect. That's all I need to know. That goes in the normals. So this is packed. So this is ORM. This is ambient occlusion, roughness, and metallic. And then thanks, Nancy. And I'll go and convert this to parameter, and I'll call this one base. I also like to put a multiply node in here, only because this will then give us a color tint I can add to this. Let's make it white for now, but in case we want to do something here, this is going to be base tint, and we'll put that into a group I like to call overrides, and then this is also going to be overrides, and then this is going to be a parameter. Convert parameter, put that in the overrides group, and then this is, did I not name that anything? No, this is normals, and then this here is going to be ORM overrides. Okay, perfect. So now that we've done that, I'll go and make a material instance of it, and I'll call it MI back wall. And that goes into here. Oops, no, I didn't mean to put that in there. Sorry. Back wall. That goes into here. Did I put it in there? I totally didn't put it in there. This goes into here. Move here. Yes. And now that can go into here, and that looks pretty cool. I can increase the normal strength and all that. But now that it's here, I can go and replace this with that. And that should give us an idea. See, now it's interesting. Now we need to actually acknowledge our bricks are too big. So we need to have bigger, better bricks. And also, I want that texture, whatever they've used, I need that texture. So back to Substance Painter and do it a little smaller, that pattern. And also maybe do a bit of additional height here. Not this, but this here. Impacted brick wall. We need to be on the material here, so 8, maybe we'll try 10. 10 might work. And let's see if we can increase the height a little bit. Or we can just go duplicate that. That does it as well. And I think because the tiles are so small, I might go and turn this into 4K texture instead. Let's see what that looks like. Make it 4K. All right. Export that. It takes a bit longer. It's a bit more demanding and overkill. Okay, I'll put that in my folder. I'll replace it. And then in Unreal Engine, I should just be able to say in these textures here for the back wall, re-import. Bizarrely, that wasn't close enough. I think it'll probably work because we sort of color certainly integrates, but I think I might make the bricks even smaller just so that it doesn't look too different from the other brickwork here. So let's try 12. Stuff you gotta try, you know. But we're getting there, It's just, you know, sometimes just gotta try and then try again. And 4K, I think because the bricks are now so small, I think it's good to have 4K maps there. I also like the idea that they're split out onto their own UV, so they don't have to share space with anything else. We could have optimized it by removing or shrinking down the UVs for the other side. That would have also been okay. Okay, that goes into brick wall. Replace. Here we'll say re-import and smaller bricks. Now it's almost the same. It's still not quite there, so maybe 14 would have been perfect, but I think this is gonna integrate okay. Yeah, there we go. We'll turn this into a blueprint eventually so that we can move this whole unit as one piece together with all these other bits and pieces. But I think that is pretty good. I think we're going to call it a day here today. I think this is nice. If I can keep this up, maybe do this once a week on a Monday and keep chipping away at it, that'd be kind of cool. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun, and it's nice to do something creative for for this project and for streams going forward. I'm planning to, once we have all the people in, that's going to be a bit of a thing as well. But once we have people in, I'll be able to adjust this into a winter environment, nighttime, rainy environment, and maybe even a UFOs have landed type environment, like crazy skies and whatnot. It'll be good to have that as an expandable thing, and also then adjust it to the mood of what we're doing and what we're playing. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you off with the old title sequence, so say goodbye to it in style, and I will see you Saturday next Saturday, as well as for this next Monday. Take care. Bye bye.